everybody? This is Anna Tenbensel with Developer, a certified cryptocurrency auditor and a certified blockchain developer. And today we are going to talk about the language, the basics, the history, but the overall introduction of C, which is a programming language. So let's just jump in here and talk about the history of what C is. So C is a general purpose programming language that is extremely popular, simple, and flexible to use. It's structured as a programming language that's a machine independent and exclusively used to write various applications, operating systems like Windows, and a lot of other complex programs like Oracle Database, Git, Python Interpreter, and more. It's said that kind of like C is like the big programming language, and it really kind of has been a base for programming. If you know C, you can probably easily grasp the knowledge of other programming languages that use the concept of C. So in kind of like the language rank in general, we have number one would probably be Python. Then we'd have C++, and we have Java, then we have C, C#, PHP, R, JavaScript, Gulag, assembly, etc. So let's talk about the history of C, because I actually think it's really cool. So the base, or like the father of the programming languages, is Algol, A-L-G-O-L, like the star, the big red star in the sky, you know, Algol burns bright. If you don't know that reference, definitely Google it. It was first introduced in 1960, and Algol was used as like a large basis in European countries and introduced the concept of structured programming into the developer community. In 1967, a new computer programming language was announced called BCPL, which stands for Basic Combined Programming Language. BCPL was designed and developed by Martin Richards, especially written for system software. So this was like an era of programming languages that just after 3 years in 1970, a new programming language called B was introduced by Ken Thompson that contained multiple features of BCPL. And this programming language was created using Unix, UINX, operating system at AT&T and Bell Laboratories. So both BCPL and B system were programming languages. But in 1972, a great computer scientist named Dennis Ritchie created a new programming language called C at the Bell Laboratories. It was created using Algol, BCPL, and B programming languages. And C programming language contains all the features of these languages and many more additional concepts that make it unique from other languages. So C really is a powerful programming language that's strongly associated with the Unix operating system. Even most of the Unix operating system is coded in C, and initially, C programming was limited to the Unix operating system, but it started spreading around the world and became commercialized, and so many compilers were released for cross-platform systems. So today, C runs on another variety of operating systems and hardware platforms. So it started evolving in so many different versions of the language, and those were released. And at times, it kind of became difficult for developers to kind of keep up with the latest version of the systems that were running on older versions. To assure that C will remain a standard, the American National Standards Institute, or ANSI, defined a commercial standard for C language in 1989. Later, it was approved by the International Standards Organization, or ISO, in 1990, and C programming language is also called ANSI-C. So languages like C++ and Java are developed from C, and these languages are widely used in a variety of technology. Thus, C forms a base for a lot of other languages. So where would C be used, and what are some of the key applications? Good question. C is widely used in embedded systems. It's used for developing system applications. It's widely used for developing desktop applications. Most of the applications by Adobe are developed using C programming language. It's also used for developing browsers and their extensions. Google's Chromium is built on C. It's used to develop databases like MySQL is the most popular database software, which is built in C. It's used for developing additional operating systems like Apple's OS X, Microsoft Windows, Symbian, and for desktop as well as mobile phone operating systems. It's used for compiler production, and it's used widely in the Internet of Things application. So if that's not reason to learn it enough, why should you learn it? Well, as we said earlier, C is kind of the base language for programming languages. So learning C, it's like the main language that'll be an important role while studying other programming languages. It shares the same concepts, data types, operators, control statements, and more. C can also be widely used for various applications. So like a simple language provides faster execution, and there are many job types available for C developers in this market. So C is also a structured programming language, which is divided into various models. So each module can be written separately or together, and it forms like a single C program. C also contains 32 keywords in various data types and a set of like beautifully built functions that make programming super efficient. There's so many compilers available. So kind of speaking on that, like since C is a compiled language, a compiler is a special tool that compiles the program and converts it into an object file, which is machine readable. So after the compilation process, the linker will combine different object files and creates a single executable file to run the program. So the following would go something like writing a source code, compiling the source code, and linking object files. So nowadays, so many compilers are available online, and you can use any of the compilers. The functionality will never really differ, and most of the compilers provide the features required to execute both C and C++. But some of the compilers I would recommend are like Clang compiler, MinGW compiler, which would be like minimalist GNU for Windows, Portable C compiler, and Turbo C. And I also just wanted to say, now we're going to go through some basic commands, like super basic. For the other videos that you've seen, you're going to know most of these things. This is just like the very basic. So we've seen before the include, and then we'd say like SDOH, and this is the hashtag include with the greater than less than is a command. This command includes the standard input output header file, which is here, from the C library before compiling the C program. So next we would do int main. It's not init. Please do not do init. There we go. It's the main function from where the C program execution begins. And then you've seen this before. We're going to put that, we'll put it down here. A curly bracket. This indicates the beginning of a main function, and this indicates the end of a main function here. So beginning and end. And then let's say we wanted to say some comment in the middle here. You've seen this before if you've watched my other videos. Whenever something is written inside this command, the / inside the C program, it's not considered for compilation or execution. So you can write and organize your code that way. I like to do this, and you guys usually see this in my work. I will write something like, let's say variables, so I can keep my code organized and clean. Another command would be printf hello world. You would obviously not have to write hello world, but I like it. So, and this command prints the output on the screen. So it would print this hello world on the screen. Getch would be, this command is used for like any character input from a keyboard. And then last but not least, return 0. This command is used to terminate a C program like main function and return it to 0. So I hope that kind of gives you a basis to kind of jump off here with C. Any comments, questions, suggestions, and concerns, I greatly appreciate, and I will see you guys next time.